Hello and welcome to PBM's Entertainment, and we present the songs of 2020. I know it was a terrible year, but in terms of music, I just want to talk to you about basically the songs or my top songs of 2020 according to Spotify. So let's get it started. And the first one is, just to tap it up. It's Mr. Bojangles by Sammy Davis Jr. It's number one. It's a brilliant little track. One of my favorite. It is the favorite of Sammy Jr.'s. It's just talking about old age, really. About a man who's used to be a dancer, but the drink kind of caught up with him. It's a brilliant tune. Well worth a listen. The next tune, I Want You by Marvin Gaye. What a tune and what an album. It's fantastic. What can I say about Marvin Gaye? Got me through quite a lot of crazy nights during 2020 when we thought the world was going to end and everyone was getting toilet tissue. But it's just fantastically put together. Just the whole tune itself is just amazing. And Marvin's vocals. The entire album's brilliant. I Want You is the album, and this tune just truly amazing. So that's that. Can you guess what it is yet? Travis Scott, The Plan. So one of the few films or few times that I got to go to the cinema because of obviously COVID of last year was Tenet. I saw Tenet twice. The first time was during the 4DX experience with a friend of mine, and it was all that kind of chairs are moving and water spraying. The action is incredible if you have not seen it, but I'm assuming most people have seen Tenet. But I'm not a massive fan of the film because I wasn't emotionally invested in the characters. But the action is great. But this song at the end when it starts playing the credits, and I'm not even a Travis Scott fan, but I like this tune. What a tune. What a tune. Anyway, next. Taking a second. So during obviously the period of COVID and we're all in quarantine, there were quite a lot of streaming that was done. So a lot of Netflix and binging on Amazon. Disney Plus came out as well during that period in the UK last year. And one of the films that I am a massive fan of is Tron Legacy. Mainly loved the soundtrack because of Daft Punk. Daft Punk actually did the soundtrack of it. And this one is Clue, C-L-U. Now, if you've seen the film, Clue is actually the clone of Sam Flynn, played by the fantastic Jeff Bridges. And I just love just the interplay in the scenes and how it just rising in this kind of dramatic percussion. It just gets to this heightened level of emotion, especially when I think they're in the duel bit. So it's kind of the cycles, but before they have the cycles, they have this kind of frisbee session or frisbee fight back. Watch the film. It's on Disney Plus. Well worth a watch. Next song. Now, if you saw the year before, in 2019, I saw Into the Spider-Verse, that Spider-Man one with Miles Morales. And Sunflower was a brilliant tune. And that got me into Post Malone. And I heard this tune on Post Malone, Goodbyes, featuring Young Thug. And I thought, this is a tune. And he's brilliant. Just a great tune. And obviously during 2020, man needed good tunes to get man through. Next tune. All the Way Round by Marvin Gaye. part of I Want You album. There's a few tracks on this album that pop up on the most played songs of 2020. And this is another one. Fantastic, by the great Marvin. Tune. That's all I've got to say. Tune. Next tune. Now, I am a Sam Smith fan. I like a lot of his work, especially his first album. Great songs on there. His latest few albums have been like a few tracks. But this song, brilliant tune. How Do You Sleep by Sam Smith. Great tune. And this is another tune from Tron Legacy, that I said to you before. A lot of people don't like this particular film, but I actually like it a lot, and I saw it a couple of times during lockdown last year. This one is Disc Wars. And again, if you're a massive fan of Daft Punk, unfortunately earlier this year, I found out that they broke up or they're no longer making music together, and it is a massive shame. I've been a massive fan of Daft Punk for a long while, and the whole album. If you're not a fan of the film, mate, the album is amazing. And again, Disc Wars, Daft Punk. Nothing more that needs to be said. Truly amazing. Now, we lost some great people last year. Not just due to COVID, but we lost some fantastic influences. Now, one such artist was this one. Mr. Bill Weathers, Use Me. Now, there's a fantastic documentary that I saw, I think it was on Netflix, about his life, about how he became, I think he worked in the army, then he worked as a docker, and then he came into music quite in the late, like in his late 20s, early 30s. But, man, what a voice. And I remember listening to this tune, another great film, Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx. Can you guess what film it is? Any Given Sunday. Al Pacino at his best. It's all about inches. That in front of your face. That great speech and a great film. And this tune is in that film as well. So that's the first time I listened to this tune. And after he died, unfortunately, in early 2020, I don't think it was due to COVID, but due to other things, I had to play it because it's one of my favourites. That one and Grandma's Hands is one of my favourites of his. Bill Weathers, Use Me. Gone but not forgotten. Next tune. Now, this is a controversial one. And I'll tell you the reason why in a second. Superstar, featuring Matthew Santos. Lupe Fiasco. Brilliant tune. I like Daydreaming. So if you saw any of my previous top 20 or top songs of over the years, you've seen Daydreaming featuring Lupe Fiasco, another one. Kick Kick Push, another one. Now I listened to a documentary of someone's talking about Lupe Fiasco's life and his music career. And he's always had kind of beef with producers and record labels about producing work. And I was actually surprised to realise that this particular song, Superstar, Daydreaming, and I think Kick Push, or Kick Push maybe was different. But those two songs, which are my favourite Lupe Fiasco songs, including this one, he didn't want to do them. It was part of the record labels told him to put this tune on there because it's on his album, because it's one of the better ones, and then he releases a single, and it's actually one of his better ones in my opinion. But it's not something he wanted to do. It's not something he had faith in doing, which is always weird. I always think that's kind of strange. Some of the greatest songs of I like of Lupe Fiasco's is not the ones that Lupe Fiasco wants to do. But anyway, Superstar, Lupe Fiasco. Next. Marvin Gaye on that same album. But this tune is I Wanna Be Where You Are, and what a tune it is. And again, you need sometimes, especially with 2020, I needed some good music just to get man through, just something upbeat. What a tune. Anyway, next. Now, there were a lot of documentaries and a lot of things that came out last year just to keep us getting through. So, do you remember Tiger King? Do you remember... what else came out? Quite a lot of stuff came out documentary-wise, so much so I've forgotten. But this particular one, I've seen probably about 15 to 20 times, this particular documentary. It has a fantastic soundtrack as well. Starring Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. I'm not a massive basketball fan, but it talks about the last dance. The last year where the Chicago Bulls can do the double three-peat, so I'll win 6 championships. 10 episodes of absolute brilliance. It's just the epitome of someone striving to be great. Someone like Michael Jordan, the team. But it's all these elements of people coming together, like Scottie Pippen that came from this area of America. Daniels came from another part. Phil Jackson, should I say. Phil Jackson coming from another part of his background, and Michael Jordan coming from his background. And they all come together to achieve greatness. And this song, I mean, if you've ever want to hear about the playlist, or I mean the songs on the playlist for this documentary is amazing. But this particular song, as soon as I heard it in the documentary, I was like, this is amazing, this is amazing. And so anytime you feel like you need to be inspired, I would definitely say watch The Last Dance on Netflix about the Chicago Bulls. Even if you're not a basketball fan, you can find inspiration in it. And this song is also brilliant. Oh, the last song was Teardrop, Jose Gonzalez. This song is Roxanne, Arezno Zebas. Tune. Sometimes you just need to have a nice party song. Something to raise the heart levels, especially when everyone was out there jogging, cycling. You just have something in here to listen to, and this Roxanne tune tells a fantastic story as well about Roxanne. Cock and Whole Foods. Tune. Next.
Please, man. Pretty please for the cherry and talking.
Another upbeat tune. Lovesick featuring AC Rocky. Muramasa, ASAP Rocky. Again, I thought the world was going to end. Man needed something just to get me through. Something upbeat. Because if the world's going to end, that was going to be fine. Next. Marvin Gaye. I Want You album. Different tune though. Come Live With Me, Angel. He's one of the most sampled artists of all time. Imagine how many beats, levels. I mean, watch this. Alright. Now, some of you might not know this, so I'll break this up and down to you. I'm a massive fan of 50 Cent too, especially early days of G Unit. He sampled this tune in I Wanna Get to Know You, I Wanna Get to Know You. That sample bit is in that track. I love that tune for that little bit. And now, last year, I realized it came from that track. And what a track it is. I love Marvin Gaye as well. If you've heard I tell you what, his biography, or one of his biographies, I mean, talk about issues with his dad, firstly. but it's well worth a read because you get an understanding of his working relationship with Berry Gordy and Motown, and his jealousy and his I wouldn't say sexual perversions, but just the way he saw things and saw women and saw music, and just a genius in one level, but on the other level just an absolute madman. But obviously maybe that just helped with the music, I don't know. But yeah, Come Live With Me Angel or Marvin Gaye tune. Here we are. Since I Left You, the Avalanches.
Get a drink, have a good time now. Welcome to paradise.
I like this tune. Nice little beat, especially when you're doing them skipping in the park. And when the summertime came, sun was out. It's nice to have something just nice, live. Keep your head nodding. Love it. Since I Left You by the Avalanches. Next. What a tune. Extreme Ways, Moby. Now, who doesn't like Jason Bourne? And the Bourne Identity, and the Bourne Ultimatum, and the Bourne Legacy? Maybe the other one with the other guy where Jason Bourne wasn't in it isn't the best, but I tell you what is great is the tune. This is in the Bourne, I think, Ultimatum, the third one, and I think they're in all of them, but it's the closing titles. Just watch it. Move it. Next. Again, as soon as I got into a bit of Post Malone, I realized there's a lot of tracks that this boy does that I like a lot. Like this one. Better Now by Post Malone. No set. Until the End of Time. Tupac, RL, Booger, Samuel J. Tone, and a whole host, a lot of other people. Just obviously this is after he died, and this is one of my better tunes of his after he's gone, unfortunately, but not forgotten. Great tune. Next. Again, I Want You album, Marvin Gaye. This time it's You Are the Way You Are. I like how it just, this introduction is instrumental is a good 2 minutes long before he starts singing anything. But I'm with it. Sometimes when you're with a master artist, you just go with it. Then take it down whatever avenue he wants to go down. Doesn't matter if he wants to sing right now, he doesn't have to sing. I trust that he's going to take me where I need to go. And what a tune this is. You Are the Way You Are by Marvin Gaye. Next. We needed this, especially in 2020. High Hopes. Panic at the Disco. True. Now, early 90s, Faithless used to be big. So I was just going through a kind of a nostalgic look back last year, and I realized I like this tune a lot. I remember this tune when it first came out. I was like, this is great. And so kind of inspired me. And I was like, yeah, let me listen to this a lot more. I was like, Muhammad Ali, Faithless. And it's all about the great man. And Faithless was talking about his appreciation for Ahmad Ali. And what a tune it is. Well worth listening to.
I see your face in front of me.
Every so often, it's always good to have a little bit back to yesteryear, 70s, 80s, just to hear how they were done back in those days. In the good old days. You don't have to be a star. Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. And what a tune it is. Again, another one where I'm not going straight in with the tune, with the lyrics, but just ease you in. Tune. Next. Since I Had You, Marvin Gaye. You don't need to know what album it is because it's exactly the same one. I Want You album. What an album. I only found out about this album last year. About all the albums that I know of Marvin Gaye that my family has and I've listened to, I only found out about this album last year. If there's any good thing that can come from 2020, it's probably figuring out there's some hidden gems that I'm still not aware of. Great thing about that, isn't it? Anyway, next. Now, Sister Sister was a big band, had some nice catchy tunes. This is my favourite because it just takes you on a little journey. Great vocals as well from everyone within the band. And again, you just need something upbeat, get you through the day. I remember 2020. It was fucking boring. We thought the world was gonna end. People were just stacking up on toilet tissue. I needed somebody to help take me someplace else, man. Sister Sister, Comfortably Numb. What a tune. Anyway, next tune. Now, one of my favourite films is Man on Fire, Denzel Washington. One of my favourite Denzel Washington films. And at the end, spoiler alert, he dies in the car. The tune there. Brilliant. Una palabra. Carlos Varela. For me, this tune synonymous with that scene. It's great how music and images, especially when you do it right with films and documentaries, that piece of music can take you straight to that film, to that scene, to how you felt at that moment. And that's the great thing about great music. Well, instantly. Anyway, next. Now, I believe Rocket Man came out last year or the year before. Now, I've been a massive Elton John fan for a lot longer than Rocket Man came out. And one of my favourite tunes is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. Just tune. Wonderful tune. What a tune. Next. Now, I was told about Mr. Frank Ocean. I like a couple of his songs, but this album, or Blonde, is actually worth, yes, because he already made certain amount of albums. Each album is actually worth like a couple of £100 because he only made a certain amount. And actually, there's about 5 tracks on there I really love. Pink and White by Frank Ocean. He's one of my favourites on there. It's not a masterclass, but I know a lot of people out there love this album. But I just think 5 or 6 out of the whole album is brilliant, and maybe that makes a brilliant album. I don't know, but Pink and White. Just takes you on a nice journey. You want to just chill out, beach, good weather, maybe on a drive, maybe smoke some weed. Yeah, good times. Good times. In amongst all the hellish moments in 2020, they were good times. They were good times. Some. And this tune, yeah, reminds me of some good times. Anyway, moving on. Redbone, Childish Gambino. Similar sort of vibe. Just nice, chill out, hang out vibes. Yeah. Just de-stress. Needed that de-stress moments. Next. It's that man again, Mr. Marvin Gaye. Feeling all my love inside. I wonder what he's talking about. But it's on that same album of I Want You. I mean, the whole album, we could do a whole session on this particular album, but what an album. Got me through the year. Next. Baba O'Reilly, The Who. Another one where it just takes a while. You just and obviously, if you're a massive fan of CSI, most of the all of the tracks, or most of the opening credit tracks, are The Who, and this one I think is CSI the original with Las Vegas. Could be wrong, could be Miami, but anyway, it's all there. But what a tune! Next, right here in the field. Anyway, but again, on another chill out lesson, there was some music being produced in 2020 or being released. And Borders featuring Lenny Kravitz, St. John. Another nice little chill out one. Just sit back at St. John, take on a little vibe. It's nice. I like it a lot, hell of a lot. Tune. We have to have at least one track of Michael Jackson, of Human Nature. One of my favourite, if not the favourite Michael Jackson track. Good one for karaoke as well. It's one of my go-to for him. That one and Man in the Mirror. My go-to for karaoke. So what a tune. Next. Good as Hell by Lizzo. Needed to feel a bit upbeat, especially when we were coming out of the first lockdown. People were like, let's keep it moving. And for me, Lizzo was like, true. Next. So I Want You, on the I Want You album, Marvin Gaye goes through different kinds of intros related to the songs that they had before. You have to get the album, and if you do get the album, you'll be able to understand what I mean. So he just does different tunes, or he cuts up the song and puts it in individual tunes, and this is an intro jam to of I Want You, and I just love just listening to the instrumental of that I Want You. So he's a genius, what can I say? He's a genius. Next. To switch it up a bit. Deployed, featuring Little Dragon. So was Little Dragon.
Waking up one day, I say I'm leaving up.
I think I spent a bit of time in a hostel, and this hostel was playing this particular tune last year. And that's how I got into this tune. And I was like, this is a tune. Maybe she's on it. And that's why it's there. Next. I had my birthday. And we had to play this. People, every day. Arrested Development. Tune. I don't normally do little gatherings over my birthday. I like to sit back and just relax, chill, reflect on the year. But 2020 just made me feel like man just needs certain people around just to enjoy being alive. Because who knows what might happen in a few months' time. And everyday people, just got everybody moving and grooving. True. Next. And then we go to something completely different. Again, with or without you, Parcels. Just that the tune, nice and catchy. Tune. All right, so Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, through the Looking Glass. Now, like I say, last year everyone was just binge watching, and I, for the first time, watched something that a lot of people have been telling me about for years, and that is Ozark. Jason Bateman, Laura Linney, and tell you what, it is fantastic. I think they're coming up with the last series either this year or next year, but what a series. And one of the tunes, it's not a great series for tunes, but when I heard this in the show, I was like, I like this one. Ozark. It's different to Breaking Bad, but it's in a similar vein. About I got a money launderer for the drug cartels, but it's brilliant because it's trying to break the conventional way that people saw Breaking Bad. It's trying to do its own thing, but it's brilliant. Watch Ozark. Next, and obviously I went through let's watch a bit of anime, and I saw a bit of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I just reminisced on how fantastic Sunflower is by Post Malone and Swain Lee. It is amazing. Anyway, next. No Surprises, Radiohead. Tune. Just a tune. I just remember the music video of the guy kind of, I'm not too sure, his head's kind of immersed in this diver's helmet type thing, and it's slowly filling up, and then his head submerges, and he's like holding his breath for a certain amount of time, and then they release it, the water, and then he carries on singing or miming, but you see it real time. Kind of weird, but works for me. Anyway, next tune. I Want to Be Where You Are, Marvin Gaye. You know the album. I want you, just listen to it. You'll understand why. This is the unedited version. So again, on the album, there's certain ones that were edited for the radio, which are like within 3 minutes. And then there's the extended version, like this one, which goes on for 6 minutes. A lot more instrumental, a lot more vocals. Just let the master take it. Just let the master take you away. Well worth a look. I Want to Be Where You Are by Marvin Gaye. Next. The Who again. Brilliant band. Who Are You? The Who. Nothing more needs to be said. I was just going through a little moment of who are you? True. I really wanna know. What a tune. Next. And obviously because, as I said to you before earlier on, Bill Weathers unfortunately passed away last year. I don't believe it was due to COVID, as I say. We're going through a moment to remember the great man. And Kissing My Love by Bill Withers. Fantastic. Well worth a listen. Nice little intro from the master himself. Yeah. Next. Bobby Caldwell, What Do You Want to Do for Love? Chew, old school chew. What you won't do for love. Just nice and smooth. Little slow jam. Just so the girls know you got a bit more depth to you. They're like, Bobby Caldwell, okay. Just a tune. Great tune. Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love. Again, Soon I'll Be Loving You Again. Marvin Gaye on that album, I Want You. Tune. Next. This is on Rock and Roller. I think I said it on a previous or last year or the year before's episode of Spotlight or Spotify's top songs of the year. Rock and Roller. I'll say no more. Obviously, it's a great song, but this song reminds me of Rock and Roll, and he's dancing in the mirror, or he's dancing to the photo, or the not photo, the painting. What film? Rock and Roller. Watch it. Brilliant. And I think this is one of the last ones of his, Bill Withers, Grandma's Hands. It's basically a love song to his grandma. Tune takes on a fantastic story about his grandma and what she meant to him. Just amazing. Don't you run so fast, might fall on a piece of glass. Tune. Might be snakes there in that grass. Next. Now, as I said to you before, Tenet was like the big tentpole film of last year. There wasn't many because they're all being rescheduled. So I should respect Chris Nolan and the production company for trying to help out cinema in general, because cinemas were taking a beating. But the film wasn't, in my opinion, amazing. It was just great action. So there's various reasons why it didn't work out. But I tell you what did work out: soundtrack. Posterity. Ludwig Göransson. I think this is in the bit, spoiler alert, where they're doing the pincer movement, where the blue team and the red team are going backwards and forwards in time to actually stop a nuclear device destroying the various pasts and futures. Very confusing. But this song is going on while all the action is going off. I think it's a brilliant piece of work by Ludwig Göransson. It's a good album, definitely worth listening to it, the soundtrack. But the film, give me Inception instead. Anyway, next. So again, on the I Want You album, as well as elongated versions of tracks, cut versions of tracks, alterations, there's also instrumentals on there as well. Again, I like I Want You, and sometimes I just want to listen to the instrumental. Don't need to hear Marvin. And that's it. Next. Sammy Davis Jr. I was going through a bit of a renaissance of Sammy. Something's Gotta Give. What a tune. Nice and punchy. Love it a lot. Anyway, next tune. Now, as I say, Disney Plus came out, I think last year, I think around April, May-ish of this year in this country, in the UK. And one of the things that I'm a massive fan of is musicals. Never got to see Hamilton, not yet, touch wood, I'll get to see it. But they showed Hamilton on Disney Plus later on last year. And I tell you what, the hype is worth it because it's a brilliant musical. And one of my favourite songs, Dear Theodosia, Leslie Odom Jr., Lin-Manuel Miranda. And this is literally him talking to his firstborn child. And he's just giving him a promise about what he's going to try and do to help and be there for his kid. But not just for his kid, but for this new country of America. I thought it was beautiful. Especially when the two of them are there just sitting there on stage and just... Someday, someday, yeah, you'll blow us all away. Great tune. Great musical, still available on Disney Plus. Well, watch it. And obviously, if you get a chance, hopefully later on this year, definitely go and see it. Next. Oh, Home, Michael Bublé. A lot of people weren't able to go home. I was one of those ones who it took a while before I could see my mum up in Bradford. And I felt a bit nostalgic. And every so often I'd pop this on. Quite a few times it seems. We all wanted to go home. Some people did get a chance to go home, but for those that didn't, it's for you. Home by Michael Bublé. I was going through a Marvin Gaye phase. I Want You. After the Dance by Marvin Gaye on that album. Say no more than that. Tron Legacy. End title credits by Daft Punk. I'm not even a dance fan. Not a dance fan at all. But I love Daft Punk. And I must admit, I was on set over in Scotland. I think it was January or February of this year, when the news broke on my phone that they were breaking up. And I must admit, it took me a minute. I was deeply hurt. I've been following them since One More Time. And fantastic music. I don't think there's an album that they've made that I've not liked most of their songs, including Tron Legacy. And again, I'm not a massive fan of dance music, but I am a massive fan of Daft Punk. Gone, broken up but not forgotten. Next. Oh boy, Cameron, Jules Santana. Old school. Reminds me of young Morgan. Just early 2000s, going through this R&B renaissance. Cameron was part of the favourite tune of his. Next. Gold by Chet Farker. Again, probably one of those ones where I was in a hostel just thinking, this is a brilliant tune. I like this. What is this? And over time, you listen to it enough, you're like, yeah, I like this. Gold, Chet Farker. You gotta know, I'm feeling love. Next. This is the single version of I Want You. I mean, I prefer the extended version, so that's 6 minutes, but the single version is about 3 minutes. I Want You on the I Want You album, Marvin Gaye. You know. This is, again, part of the Tron Legacy album, Flynn Lives, Daft Punk. Slow burn. Take a second. I think this is towards the end, actually. So this is towards the end of Tron Legacy, where the older Jeff Bridges sacrifices himself to save his son and defeat Clue. Spoiler alert, that's what happens. Allegedly, they're going to make another Tron. I'm not too sure what's that going to be about, seeing as Jeff Bridges is kind of dead, you know? But hey ho, who knows? We'll see. His son's out there. And Coral, the AI or the program who's kind of enhanced, is now in the real world. Interesting. Don't know how it's going to run, but hey, I'll watch it. Don't worry. Anyway, next tune. When we were finally having maybe 1 or 2 house parties, when we were allowed to, this tune was on. For a slow wine. She's Royal by Tyrese Riley. What a tune.
Let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed.
Carnival.
You'll never have to
Oh,
cry.
there's no carnival this year. Maybe
I
next year,
know
2022.
everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. And she's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want
Watch
her
it.
in my
Next. Pinball Wizard by The Who. Going through a Who phase, what can I say? So many great tunes, so many great things. I think they made a film by this Oliver Reed, the guy who just loves playing the pinball. Got a pretty good feeling that that's a real thing. Can't remember the film though. It could be called Pinball Wizard, but hey ho. It by Christine and the Queens. Brilliant tune. Say what you say. Brilliant tune. Again, probably doing a cycle tour of East London. Just trying to get out, have that hour of exercise that Boris said you could have. Yeah. Listen to this. Cheers. Next. Arrival. Daft Punk again on the Tron Legacy. Enough said about that. Just listen to the... If you're a massive fan of Daft Punk, Tron Legacy album, it's well worth listening to. Talk that talk. Rihanna, Jay-Z. Just needs something a bit more catchy, a bit more bouncy. She's not done too badly. Some cosmetics as well as music. Anyway, next tune. Another one from Hamilton. Non-stop. Leslie Odom Jr., Lynn Miranda. It's got more of a Caribbean feel. And I was like, oh, different genres, different styles.
How to account for his rise to the top? Man, the man is non-stop. Gentlemen of the jury, I'm curious, bear with me. Are you aware that we're making history?
And again, great musical. Not all the songs are bangers, but I can understand why a lot of people love it when you've got songs like this. I'll wait until it drops that little bit where it goes into that Caribbean vibe.
One more thing. Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? That attitude may be your doom. Why do you ride like you're running out of time? Right day and night like you're running out of time. Every day you fight like you're running out of time.
True. We're going through a musical phase. And I remember Evita. Now, my uncle is not a fan of Madonna. So he didn't like this one. He didn't like this version with Antonio Banderas and Madonna. There's a previous version at stage. He likes that one more. But I'll tell you what, Antonio Banderas and Madonna wasn't too bad. And Waltz for Eva and Shay. Based on a real person, by the way. Evita, Head On, and Water Tune. I think the whole album's actually very good, to be fair. It's well worth watching. The film and listen to the album. Yeah. Next. Again, Daft Punk, Tron Legacy album. The game has changed. Yeah, just listen to the album. Well worth it. And again, Disney Plus also owns a lot of Marvel and Star Wars. And when this particular app of Disney Plus came out, you get to watch all of the Star Wars films. So I watched them all. Because I got nothing else better to do back then, 2020. And this one, Phantom Menace, not the greatest film. Best thing about it is pod racing, Darth Maul, and this fight scene. And this piece of music right here, Duel of Fates, John Williams, London Symphony Orchestra. What a piece of music. Next. Bam. Elton John fan. Benny and the Jets. Water tune. Hey, hey. And this one must be the, I guess, the crowd version. And Rocketman was actually a good film. I liked it. I thought Taron Egerton was fantastic. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Yeah, he's good. Next. Juice by Lizzo. And Breakbart. Good tune. Nice little one. Get your head moving. Get yourself dancing. Tune. Next. And this is Rinsler, Daft Punk, Tron Legacy. Very dramatic. Next. I Want You, the cappella with bass. So, different variation of I Want You on the I Want You album by Marvin Gaye. Again, just listen to the album. You'll thank me later once you listen to the album. Next. Oh yeah, a friend of mine when I was staying over in Hoxton told me about Nils Frahm, My Friend the Forest. And the instrumentals, I'm a big fan of instrumentals and theme music, and this kind of was nice to have just to play in the background. I kind of liked it a lot. Yeah. Nils Frahm, My Friend the Forest. Always good. Never Be the Same Again, Melanie C. and the late great Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Yes, they came together and made a tune. I know, great tune it was. I think this is one of her last songs, Lisa Left Eye. She died not too long after this. From TLC, for those of you that don't know. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, no. Melanie C. Melanie C from Spice Girls. Next. Arena by Daft Punk. Another great little tune from the album of Tron. I was going through, there was two main albums. I'm seeing a pattern. Tron Legacy and I Want You by Marvin Gaye. Big albums. Got me through last year. Speaking of which, Strange Love, Feel All My Love, instrumental, Marvin Gaye. On that album, I Want You. This is just the instrumental bit of it. And it's brilliant. Well worth listening to. Next. Nancy Boy by Placebo. Sometimes you just need to change it up. Tune. And then we switch it up again. Everyday People, Sly and the Family Stone. Nice little tune. Outlands, Daft Punk, Tron Legacy. You don't need to say any more than that, do we? Oh, hang on. There is one more thing to say. This was actually used on an advert. I want to say either Lloyd's TSB or HSBC on this particular advert. So if you've heard it before, it's probably because it was used on this advert. But it was first used in Tron Legacy. Sorry, figured I'd tell you that. Okay. I think it's that. Hang on, let's just listen. I know, you're thinking this is just repetitive nonsense, but you gotta listen to the old album. Come Live With Me, Angel, the unedited version by Marvin Gaye. Again, a lot of these songs that Marvin Gaye did for the radio, they said it's only 3 minutes. Similar thing to what they did with Ray Charles and what I said. The whole song itself was maybe 6 or 7 minutes. So they split it in half, with part 1 on one, part 2 on the other. But then when the album came together, like this one, they put it all together. So they gave you the edited version on the radio, and they gave you the unedited version, which I mentioned before, was sampled by G Unit and 50 Cent many years later on I Want to Get to Know You. I love that. Next. Hamilton again. What I Miss. David E. Diggs, Leslie Odom Jr., and Okaraki. Oops.
How does the bastard, orphan, immigrant, decorated war vet, unite the colonies through more debt, fight the other founding fathers till he has to forfeit, have it all, lose it all, you ready for more yet? Treasury Secretary.
You're what I miss. David E. Diggs is also on Snowpiercer on Netflix. Brilliant series, not seen it, based on the film. Well worth watching. I don't want to spoil it for you, just watch it. Snowpiercer, 2 series. The second series is done, they're going to do a 3rd series for next year. But this is where he started, Mr. David E. Diggs. Great voice, but a brilliant actor as well. My Generation, The Who. Going for a Who movement. Next. Overture, Daft Punk, Tron Legacy. I'm going to save this one. Just listen to the album. Give it a good logo. After the Dance, instrumental by Marvin Gaye. Again, beautiful little track. Beautiful instrumentals. Just listen to the album and thank me later. Let me know what you think. In fact, of the songs that you like, let me know why. If there's any songs in 2020 that got you through the year, trust me, every single one of these songs got me through the year. Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, please like it also. Let's have a look. Next. Must have been going through a little rocky phase. After the Dance, we go to Layla, Derek and the Dominoes. Who doesn't love the Arctic Monkeys? A bit of Mardy Bum. In fact, I remember where I got this tune from. So Glastonbury was kaput, as many of you are well aware, last year. So what they did, during Glastonbury, BBC showcased some of the best sets on Glastonbury for that entire weekend. Arctic Monkeys, I'm not too sure what year it was. They were saying they don't normally play this particular track, but they do love it as a band, and that's what I fell in love with this tune. I was like, this is actually a brilliant tune. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do it again, actually. That was actually good. Good little weekend. The whole weekend, long weekend, of the best of Glastonbury. Jay-Z set, Kanye West, Beyonce, Adele. Yeah, every little set, including Arctic Monkeys. Coldplay was another one. Adiago for Tron, Daft Punk, another one that was brilliant. Just listen to the album. All the way around, alternate version. So again, on the album, you get your money's worth. Different versions of the tracks you love. Next, 2 Weeks by Grizzly Bear. Boom, just great. Again, another one that a friend of mine over in Hoxton told me about. Some good choices of music you had. Next, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits. So this is where I was going through a period of learning how to play a guitar, and Dire Straits have some fantastic little work with the chords and stuff like that, and guitar work. So I thought, yeah, let's try maybe with this one. It's not been going well, being a bit patchy. Let's put it this way, my Spanish is a lot better than my guitar work, and my Spanish is not that fantastic either. Anyway, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, well worth listening to. Okay, we're coming to the end, the last few tunes. Recognizer by Daft Punk on that album, Tron Legacy. Hamilton again. The Room Where It Happened. Leslie Odom Jr., Lynn Miranda, Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, they renamed it after him. The Mercer
Great
Legacy
tune.
is secure. Sure. All he had to do
Next.
was die.
Redemption Song. Bob Marley and the Wailers. If you've heard the other, and you can have a look on the channel, there's other podcasts and videos of me talking about how much I love, and I think it's my favourite Bob Marley tune.
All pirates, yes,
Just listen to it, listen to the words, you'll get it. Real Thing by Javine. Good tune. Javine, what happened to her? But yeah, after she hooked up with Harvey, things just fell off for her, bless her. But this tune, catchy. Next. End of the Line, Daft Punk, Tron Legacy album. Just listen to it. Let me know what you think. I love this tune. Can You Find Her Place? Lydia Ainsworth. Brilliant tune. Great voice as well to go. Well worth listening to. Next. Washington on Your Side. Leslie Odom Jr., David E. Diggs, and O'Carey. Hamilton.
It must be nice, it must be nice to have Washington on your side. It must
Great
be
tune.
nice.
Well
It
worth
must
watching
be
and
nice
listening to.
To
Next.
have Washington.
Yo, I'm just giving out songs.
And then every so often we just need to switch it up. Everybody Falls in Love. Canto Metro and Devontae. Great. Next. Armory by Daft Punk. And that's it. Tron Legacy is how we round up my top songs of 2020. If you've got any suggestions or if you've got any preferences, let me know what you think actually in the comments below. And if you've got songs yourself that got you through the year that was 2020, I would like to know also. And that's basically it. Hopefully this year has started off a lot better for many of us than they did last year. And obviously that's it. These are the songs of 2020. Have a look, obviously subscribe to the channel, like the video if you do like it. If you subscribe to the channel as well, there'll be some more podcasts that I'll be doing with some other people talking about their love of various different things. So yeah, we've got a lot more coming for this year. Until next time, take care. Bye.